Looks like we made it. It's Friday, March 29th, 2024. My name is Jay Clifton Payne. I'm presenting to you at this moment things you might not have heard. Maybe you heard them, maybe you didn't, but we're going to give you 8 stories that were queued up that you deemed from yesterday that were conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. Now, how we got these 8 stories, we'll explain to you after we give you the stories. It's kind of how it works here. But we are giving you stories that you already told me you would like. So if you don't like them, it's kind of on you. We'll explain how that works out. Plus, give you some fun stuff for today that I know you will enjoy. So stick around till the end so you can get your dessert after you eat your broccoli. Although broccoli is delicious. Our website is theconversationproject.com to find out more details about how we do this thing every single day. You can also visit us via the email machine at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Get into our email, slide into our not quite DMs, and let us know what we can do to improve upon the product that we have here. As I said, 8 stories we have for you here, queued up, ready to go. No particular order as they're being presented, but we'll give you some context to how they landed as we go through these stories. So let's get into the forecast for the day, the newscast for the day, I guess I should say. There's no weather in the forecast, only weather in the news. Here's a forecast. But the news stories we have today, starting off with the one at number 1, which was not the top story of the day, but one that's very much in the minds of us, as this has been a very long-standing, ongoing ordeal. The headline for it reads, "Majority of Americans disapprove of Israel's war against Hamas per poll." And that's what it says. Now, I say often about polls that polls are a snapshot in time based on the people you can find. So based on whoever you actually find to answer your poll question will give you the actual answer. So finding the right people is key and crucial so that it's actually something that actually represents going on. But right now, a recent data shows, a recent poll shows that the majority of Americans, which means more than 50%, do not agree with Israel and their current stance going to war, that's what we're going to call it, with Hamas in Gaza. The disapproval rate increased from 45% to 55% based in starting in November going to March. That's 10% jump where it was slightly approved of, and now it's slightly not approved of. We will see how this thing plays out as Israel essentially has determined that they're going to wipe Hamas off the face of the planet, which normally isn't good for anybody. And the rest of the world is kind of waiting for some sort of resolution that stops what is being described as a genocide, because essentially wiping off the people off the face of a planet is kind of what a genocide is. Let's get on to the next story we have for this morning. The next story, the headline reads like this. Disgraced crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried sentenced to 25 years for FTX fraud. SBF is now going officially to jail. He got his sentencing yesterday for 25 years, which is a harsh sentence, but somehow doesn't seem quite enough. The man who, of course, was the crypto king, had billions of dollars going forward, and essentially lived his life in baggy t-shirts and just terrible pants. Good friend of rich people, spent a lot of money on various campaigns, was able to increase the economy of many folks, did it by cheating one fund into the other, literally bribing Peter to pay Paul his own fund going forward and pay himself. As the house of cards fell down, it was a dramatic and a glorious watch to watch someone come down so fast. Now, an unassuming looking guy, just a guy that you see in the street and say, that guy's rich, that guy's somebody. He is. He was, and he will be sitting in jail for at least 11 years. I think he'll probably serve 11 years of that sentence, in which times him being young enough, he can go do something hopefully productive. We'll see what happens at the end of that term. Story number 3 for this morning. Novo Nordisk $1,000 diabetes drug Ozempic can be made for less than $5 a month, studies suggest. So as a person who literally just spent $1,200 on a month's subscription of Ozempic, trust me, this is one that caught my attention and is catching attention of many regulators as what they're doing. Now, record profits, I am, believe it or not, I'm not so much against record profits, but how do people keep having record profits and they keep saying there's no money to be had? Because obviously they made more money in profits than did last year. Ozempic is making a lot of money for Novo Nordisk, also with Kobe as well. But the biggest issue is, of course, the cost. It's a scarcity because apparently it costs a lot to make and it's hard to get to. And people who are willing to pay $1,000 for it are the rich and famous who are looking for it for the weight loss side effect, Not so much a person like myself who has type 2 diabetes where it actually manages my sugar. And so I don't have to really think about it. And in my case, panic about it because I can't keep my sugar down to a level. It is what it is. It should be better. It makes you think about the farmer bro who bought all those pharmaceuticals and then raised them by tens of thousands % because he could. What's going on? Will Ozempic be lowered in cost? Will Novo Nordisk find a way to make less money to do better for the people? Let's say probably not, but let's throw it out there and hopefully they will find a way to maybe split the cost in half. It'd be great on my economy. Thank you very much. Our headline for story number 4 reads, once the scripts are loaded properly, the $22 burrito went viral after the owner defends inflated cost. We talked about the $22 burrito a few weeks back, and people went nuts over it. Much like the $20 burger and fries, although I think it was like $60 when y'all got down to it at the Five Guys store. I have to go look back up that story. The one burger, one fry cost a month's salary at Five Guys. Here's another example. The La Vaca Burro restaurant became a topic of viral discussion when its owner, Ricardo Lopez, detailed the reasons behind the price increase. Things cost more. Things cost more. Minimum wage went up to $16 an hour. That's so that you have to pay people at least $16 an hour. And then the cost of all the stuff is there. So to keep up with costs, those very, very fine burritos had to go up to $22 a burrito. He is down with that. He's got no problem with that. He's down with the Novo Nordisk philosophy of, hey, we're going to make the money off the stuff. It does essentially turn this into expensive cuisine and not so much a cheap old burrito, but he says they're great burritos anyway. They should be expensive. You should love and enjoy your burrito, even though you're going to pay, a gas tank, half a gas tank full to get one burrito. So there's a gas joke in there somewhere. Headline for story number 5. Don Lemon weighs in on possible CNN return after recent interview. And the weighing in is basically probably not going to happen. However, things could change. Things are interesting. As the RNC found out, or actually MSNBC found out when they hired a person formerly from the RNC that people basically hated because they thought they lied all the time and there was a revolt inside the kingdom. The new change of regime at CNN could allow a return to Don Lemon in some fashion. Will it happen? It should not happen. It probably won't happen. And in fact, Don Lemon will probably never return back to any sort of network television in a standard case, maybe as a commentator here or there talking about things, because essentially the things he is saying right now about how TV works, when you start talking out about your biting hand that feeds you, talking about your former employers, honest or not, it's hard to put them back on. Gretchen Carlson doesn't do much news anymore because she blasted her Fox News employers and some of the backgrounds behind other employers that are in similar cases. It's just what sort of happened. You have to kind of do your own way, which is why the X thing was supposed to be the big thing. He's still doing it on YouTube. The numbers are lower because it's not the big Elon Musk story that was the first time. But we'll see how Don Lemon does. How he does, how he will do. He's going to be okay. I'm not worried about Don Lemon. I'm worried about my $1,000 of Ozempic, to be honest. I'm more worried about me on these cases. Let's move to the next story, and this is one that had people called up in knots yesterday. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, raised $25 million bulwark for Biden as Dems fret over Trump poll advantage. Ceremony held last night at Radio City Music Hall, which was moderated by Stephen Colbert and featured Lizzo, not playing the flute last night, but doing her normal thing, and had all three presidents hanging out together, all three living Democratic presidents, I should say, hanging out together, trying to raise money to fight the evil that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump did his due diligence to counter program by going to a funeral of a New York police officer who died in the line of duty after dealing with a person who either was a legal person they let go on purpose, or just someone who was a very much a offender who was let go on purpose. That whole thing is sort of murky. But Donald Trump went to a funeral. Biden let a faux show of support from Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, so I don't think they actually like him all that much, happened to raise some money. Biden is raising more money than Trump right now, $25 million just last night from this deal. Trump may raise about $33 or so million this month. So, and Trump has a decrease. Trump is trailing because Most of this money that's being raised is going to legal fees. So when you empty the pocket as soon as you put something in there, it doesn't stay full very long. What will become of us? I don't know. These three cheesy guys are just doing their thing and hanging out with stars, and we'll see who wins the election. Hopefully not Robert F. Kennedy Jr., because then we really got crazy going on, but hopefully not Donald Trump, because we have crazy going on, and really wish it weren't Joe Biden. Maybe I'm voting with Jill Stein. I don't know. Story at number 7 this morning. Moonshine cave, long rumored to be under historic NASCAR speedway, possibly found in North Carolina. NASCAR has gotten its founding from essentially moonshiners running from the cops. That's where they souped up their cars to drive really, really fast and get away from the cops. And a sinkhole that was recently discovered under a stadium, the North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina, they believe is actually a cave that was one that moonshiners used to hide their wares. The 700 square foot area potentially validates the longstanding rumor surrounding the speedway that it was built as a way to house, or it originally was built on top of where they were housing moonshine back in the day. Check out this story because it's really, really fascinating, really interesting. And if you're not a fan of NASCAR, the history of it, how it got to be what it is something that may bring you into just the curiosity of it. You may not sit there for 8 hours watching people drive in circles, because that does get a little boring, but how they got to be a business, how they got to be such a big business is an interesting, very interesting ordeal. And the story at number 8 this morning, and this is a doozy. Harvard University removes human skin binding from book. Take a moment, take it in, let it settle. Here we go. Harvard University recently made the decision to remove the human skin binding from a book dating back to the mid-1800s. Des Desantes, this guy pictured here, Des Desantes de Amare, totally butchering that one, is a meditation. Okay, let's back up. Des Desantes des Amare is a meditation on the soul and life after death. It's a book written by Arsène Houssaye. So my notes are out of order, so parallel to that. He wrote that in mid-1800s. He gave a copy of the book to his friend, Dr. Ludwig Bouland, who then reportedly bound the book with the skin from a body of an unclaimed female patient who had died of natural causes. Because he could. Universities had this book on display for quite some time. They decided that it was now time to relieve the book of its burden of being covered by human flesh. We're all much better for that. Thank you very much. Our omitted story today, no time to get this one in, so very quickly. Pope Francis breaks with tradition in annual ritual by washing the feet of women only as he prepares. This is Holy Week, preparing for the Easter coming up on Sunday, and on Maundy Thursday, when he actually does his feet washing, because that's a time and ceremony where people of stature wash the feet of people who do not, to show that, you know, even the mighty can be humble at some point. Freudian slip. Pope Francis only washed the feet of females in the ceremony. We don't have time to get into that. So check out the links for that one and to check that out. If you are a Catholic, if you're into the Holy Week, into all the ceremony, something you might want to really get into. So let's get into right now our teaser story for today, which is a chance to tease for the weekend, because it's Friday and the next time we'll be together in this gathering like this will be Monday morning. So come Monday, do you want to talk about this story? Headline for the story, and I think it's going to last. I think this is one that's going to persevere. Beyonce releases new album, Cowboy Carter. Listen. That's what it says here in the title, so you can listen to it. Last night, because you don't have to wait to record stores to pick it up, she clicked the button and set publish and released the album for Country Carter. The set list was out a few days ago. It features songs with Millie Nelson and Dolly Parton and a whole bunch of covers and things like that. Jolene is what's being pumped up right now because she did a cover of that one. And you can listen to it. You can check it out. You can call her country. You can call her rock and roll. Call her whatever you want to. But is this thing going to do well? Yes. Will it do massive well? Probably. Will we talk about this on Monday? You be the judge. go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/this is a conversationproject.com, Twitter or X.com, th_conversation, and let us know what we're talking about come Monday by just engaging in the story all weekend long. Now, we have 3 full days and we get about 30 stories a day. So there's a lot of work to get this one through there. But if it's a top 30 story by engagement on Monday morning, chances are I will see it and we'll pick it for the 10 stories we'll give you on Monday, just like that. So if you want to talk about Cowboy Carter, you just have to go to my feeds and tell me, yep, this is what you want to do. Just click like, love, hate, whatever emoji you want to. Click it there. Enough of them click in there. Like I say, top 30 stories of the weekend. Get a shot for the 10 stories in the queue for Monday. In the queue for right now is one of our favorite sponsors. That is Hostage Tape. They're one of our favorite sponsors because you guys thought they were funny. You guys thought I was joking. You didn't think this was a real thing. Hostage Tape has taken over the world, if you will, by offering the world's most comfortable mouth tape. And because it does that, they keep running out of mouth tape often. Supplies are limited at various times. Guess what? They have geared up for Easter. There's an Easter sale for Hostage Tape. So if you want to use it for exercise, now that the temperature is getting warmer, so make sure that when you're out there running, you're breathing through your nose. There's plenty of it. You want to stock up for a 3-month supply. If you need it for sleep, to save your sleeping because it makes you feel better, and save your marriage because your spouse thinks you're going to keep them up all night, get a 3-month supply. They've got them now. If you hadn't figured out yet, you need to go get a 3-month supply. You need to go do it right now. Use our link for a great deal and a deal for us because we get a commission back for it. This is the conversationproject.com/hostage tape. This is the conversationproject.com/hostage tape. Check it out today, and you'll find out it's great stuff. They also, if the tape thing's a little weird to you, they have nose strips now. So I used to say, why use a nose strip when you use the tape over your mouth? Use a nose strip. They concede it. Some people think the tape on their mouth is a little goofy, so use a nose strip. They're pretty good as well. Other great things from Hostage Tape, they'll take good care of you. They take care of us when they take care of you. So let's all get taken care of and check out Hostage Tape today. The Conversation Project lives online at this. It's conversationproject.com. Check us out for all the great things that we do all day, all the time at our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Consider being a partner and helping us do stuff as partners do. No new partners to shout out this week, so we were sad about that. No $2 hollers shout outs as well, so we're sad about that. But you can check out more about the partners and what they do for us, which is essentially help directly fund what's going on here. Now, if you can't fund us or don't think we've earned that right yet, we understand. Stick around with us. Make sure you're following us on the feeds and letting us know what stories to chat up. This whole thing doesn't work without you, literally. Go to your email. Email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Let us know what we can do to fix things, make things a little bit better. I know right now the biggest thing is people are saying, we're having sync issues with all of our videos, and I don't understand what it is. I can't fix it. It seems like it's fine in my interface. I went through 3 interfaces and whatever. We're looking for a new computer. If you were a sponsor, help us pay for that, we can do that. And of course, if you also are come in as a partner, you'll get the weekly email update that we have going on for how we're doing and how we're doing not so great. And unfortunately, we're still some not so great things. So you can, cry on my shoulder and cry with us as we go through and learn what's going on. Our newest partners are finding out why things aren't improving as fast as I'd like them to. And they've offered plenty of ideas, plenty of things to help out. So we'll do it that way. Some is financial, some is just, shoulders to cry on, and some of it is actual, like a board of directors with actual ideas. So check all this stuff out there. Go to our website and find out more about us and just keep up with us, the Conversation Project. We thank you for being engaged. This doesn't work without you. And oh, by the way, the project I launched yesterday, we're going to bring it up again today, even though it wasn't quite as fruitful as I thought. So there are still some issues I hadn't checked yet this morning. I'm recording this at 5:50 in the morning Central Time on Friday. So I haven't checked to see if the actual paperback has been released from the Amazon store. There was some issue where I pressed publish on both. Kindle book went out instantly. The paperback book got held up in the ether. And so hopefully it's out there right now. This book called Big Words You Ought to Know is a part of another project. It's part of the larger, More Better Media umbrella that I'm calling the Big Words Project. We're trying to publish 1,200 words, 1,200 distinct different words over the next 4 years. And we're doing it in various ways. One, the website, thebigwordsproject.com. The other big one is this right here, and it is a book. And we're producing a book once a quarter with 100 words in it. And if you do it 4 times and 3 times that, we have 1,200 words. So for the next 3 years, get a book every 3 months with a new batch of 100 words for you to learn. So check it out at Amazon. Search for Big Words You Ought to Know or J. Cleveland Payne and books, because I've got a bunch of books out there. It's there for Kindle at $6. It will be on the paperback at $12. $1 from every single book sold will go to a local reading program. So there's that. And there's this, the fun stuff for the day. Although the book's kind of fun too. March 29th, we are 2 days away from Easter, 3 days away from April Fool's Day. So Monday will be April Fool's Day. We won't fool you with anything, I promise. But we will give you fun stuff for this day. We always start off with birthdays because that's how we start off. It's the funnest thing, but it's just also just how we start off. Birthday wishes going off to Lucy Lawless, who's 56 years old on today. She is the shortest name on the list, although Amy Sedaris is probably just the same as length. But she's the shortest name on the list, and I had to get Sam Bankman-Fried and the Biden fundraiser in the title for the teaser. So we're celebrating her as a kind of a big Gen X thing, because Lucy Lawless was the deal back in the day on syndicated TV on Saturdays, watching both Hercules and Xena Warrior Princess. Amy Sedaris, the actress and comedian, is 63 years old as well. And Christopher Lambert, also a sort of a staple of the early 80s going into 90s slightly with the Highlander movies. He's 67 years old on the day. Our big headline we're having for history today is going just back to 2021. While today is the day in 1973 where the last U.S. soldiers left South Vietnam, and that's a big deal, recent memory has this one as a kind of a bigger deal. The trial for former police officer Derek Chauvin for murder, or Derek Floyd, began in Minneapolis on this day in 2021. Our word for the day, coming from the Big Word Project, is zenith, which means the time at which something is most powerful or successful, the zenith of a career, if you will. And we celebrate on this day, on this Friday, Good Friday. Good Friday, the Friday for Easter, is the Christian day to commemorate the crucifixion of Jesus and his death at Calvary. The Christian holiday is also known as Holy Friday, Great Friday, Great and Holy Friday, and Black Friday. A lot of things in there. If you are a Christian, the Super Bowl of ceremonies is happening 2 days from now. Easter. Christmas is a big deal because it's, the pagan holiday stuff. But Easter is a big deal for Christian sunrise services, things like that. The most populated day for service in the year is usually Easter, seconded by Christmas and sometimes Thanksgiving because people are home for there. So if you're going to church this week, enjoy yourselves. Maybe you'll get something out of it that you're not normally going to. Maybe you'll get convicted in your heart to, go more often, because church is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it's religion, not the churches, that's bad. People love Jesus. It's the religion part that kind of gets in the way sometimes. Let's get out of the way for today on this Friday, March 29th, 2024. My name, it's still J. Cleveland Payne, and it's going to stay that way for a while until I decide I need to get another fake name for radio and TV. It may happen soon. We'll never know. I want you to have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, regardless of how you're going to spend it, and just enjoy yourself. We love you immensely. We cannot do any of the stuff we do without you here, because you literally put the words in my mouth every single day. So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for the comments we had about sync issues. Believe it or not, knowing that there are issues that you're seeing that I don't see because I don't watch the full thing through and I can't see it through. There's there. And thank you for kind words in the time that's going on. People who have been following along and have a good idea what's happening. People who are partners have a real good idea what's happening. If you want to know, just send me an email. We'll chat about what's going on, or become a partner and you'll get details on how things work in the background. Stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task, and make sure that you are not, underextending your life. Extend your life as much as possible. Do what you can to make sure your life goes as far as possible, because shortening it is not a good thing for anyone. With that, I love you. I mean it. Coming up this weekend, the weekly wrap up. I've not yet done the calculations for the stories going forward. So I don't know what the top 10 stories for the week are, but we'll have that produced for you for Saturday. And of course, something akin to a story of the week. We think we're changing the format of that. I think we're going to do a bunch of stories kind of in succession that do some quick, deeper tapes on those as well. Just busy weekend. It's here in Arkansas, here in Little Rock, we have a commemoration of 1 year since our tornado which hit on the 31st of March. Easter is sort of just ironic that it happened this year. And there's Easter stuff and there's things going on. So I've got a lot of things going on that's personal. Let's get us sort of doing things. You know about this if you're a partner. So be a partner and know more about this stuff. Enough of the rambling, enough of the going on. We have a whole Friday to get to. We have a weekend to get to. So enjoy yourself. Be prepared for the weekly wrap up coming down on tomorrow, and whatever wrap up of stories you do for a story of the week kind of podcasty thing. And come Monday, are we talking Cowboy Carter, or what other stories are we talking about from the 10 stories that you will give us as conversational to throw out there for you? I won't know till you tell me. Go to the feeds, let me know. Have a great freaking weekend. Thank you.